chunkier, shimmery shorter shade. It's a shimmery shorter shade. Hey guys, welcome back. So got a video for y'all today all about this palette right here. This is the Face Candy Atlantis palette. So as usual, we're gonna talk about the pricing. We'll look at the packaging, we'll look at some swatches. I'll let you know what I think about this formula and how these shadows are to work with, and my overall thoughts and opinions on this palette. And then I will also show you a little tutorial on how I did this look right here. So yeah, let's get to it. So pricing and packaging, this palette is $14 on the Shop Hush app. This is what the outside sleeve looks like. I think it's so pretty. I think it's a really, really beautiful look to the whole design. This is a little bit raised here. So it's definitely a very blue palette in the packaging and also in what you get inside. You do get a mirror inside, which is a very functional mirror, which is nice. Is it funhousey? No? Doesn't look like a fun house, looks like a functional mirror. And as far as the shadows, they are blue. Blue and green and teal and all in that sort of family. So there's really not any neutrals in here. I mean, there's a sort of white color, but it has a little bit of a tint to it, a little bit of like it's a very cool toned white. It's almost moving towards a purple, but it is still a white. It's not like a golden sort of a white. So it's very, very blue, very tealy, turquoisey, and a lot of fun. There are mattes and there are shimmery shades in here, like super metallic-y shimmery shades. And then there is one that's kind of a chunkier, shimmery shorter shade. It's a shimmery shorter shade. And I use it on my eyeball, eyelid today. So I did use that one just to see how it would perform. So I do have some thoughts on that one, but as far as what you get in here, this is what it is, a super fun, colorful, blue, turquoisey teal palette. Okay, starting with the top row of the palette, this is Whitecaps, Ripples, Oceanic, Stormy Waters. Now some of these matte shades are looking pretty dry on my hand and a little bit kind of patchy just because they're clinging to those dry areas because my hands are really dry. So I have not experienced this kind of situation on my eyelids at all, but I don't have dry eyelids, I have oily eyelids. So I really can't speak accurately to if this would possibly happen on dry eyelids, but that's just an FYI. On my super dry hand, I am noticing that it's clinging to those dry patches, but I think that would happen with any matte shadow. So I would say use a good primer and set your primer, and I think that that would help. But again, I don't really know if that would happen. That's just a little FYI that I am noticing it on my super dry hands. Okay, middle row of the palette. This is Abyss. This is Deep Sea. Poseidon. This is Tsunami. What? That's amazing. Holy moly, that's a beautiful shadow. I love that so much. Okay, bottom row of the palette. This is Tidal. Swell, that's beautiful too. Vanished, that's amazing. And Empire is this gorgeous deep dark navy. It's amazing. So they all swatch just incredibly well. Then as far as the formula goes on these shadows, just how they are to work with and my overall thoughts and opinions on this palette, I am really impressed with the formula. Now, I have loved the Milkshake palette and the Smoothie palette from Face Candy, but I know that some people really don't like those shadows. They think that they are too powdery and too soft. I really personally love those palettes, so I love this too. But honestly, I feel like these mattes might be a little bit more on the buttery side and a little bit less soft and loose and powdery than those other two. So I love those. I love the colors in those especially, but I love those, but I'm really, really impressed with these. So I feel like if you didn't like those, maybe give this one a try if you like these sort of colors, because I do feel like the formula might be slightly different and in a better way. So I'm really impressed with the formula on these. The mattes blend very well. They do kick up some product in the pan, but I noticed that more so there than on the face. So I really didn't notice a ton of fallout on the face. So really, really like the mattes. The metallic-y shades are just beautiful, intense, gorgeous. I did wear this one and this one, and I did have some creasing throughout the day, but that's very typical for me with like these sort of metallic-y shades, especially turquoisey blue green sort of colors, I notice it more so. So that's not uncommon for me. That's very typical for me. So I wouldn't say that that's like necessarily a bad indication for these shadows. I think that's just kind of what happens when I wear those sort of shades. But they are super intense, very, very metallic. What I did is I just kind of like went like this on my eye and it just sort of, you know, evened things out and all was good. So I'm impressed with the shimmery shades too, those metallic-y shimmery shades. This one right here, this kind of loosely packed glittery shade, man, that's beautiful. It is really, really gorgeous. One of my favorites in the palette because it's got like a gray blue base to it and then this purpley pink duochrome shift to it. It's just gorgeous and I really didn't experience a lot of fallout with that one. Very, very little for what kind of a shadow it is. So impressed with that one too. So I'm super impressed with the formula on these shadows. So yeah, overall thoughts on this palette, I really, really love it. Is it gonna be one that I get a ton of use out of? No, because I really don't reach for these sort of colors all that often, pretty rarely, but man, this is done very well. So if you like these sort of shadow colors, I think you will love this palette. Or if you're just kind of feeling like having some fun with some color, I would absolutely get this palette. And if you're gonna go for a blue sort of an eye look, you want it to work well. And I feel like these work really well. So if you're kind of out of your comfort zone in the color range already, you want it to work well. So I would definitely recommend this palette. I'm impressed with it. I really, really love it. Okay, so I've already applied some eyeshadow primer and set that. So I really want to play around with some of the lighter, softer colors in this palette because I've already done a look, not on my channel, but just when I played with this palette before, that was like more intense and super blue, but I just kind of want to play with some of the lighter blue shades today. So I'm going to start with Ripples and get a little bit of that on a crease brush. This is a Cozette D220. And I'm just going to apply this into my crease and transition area. I'm going to get a little bit of Abyss on that same brush and apply it kind of in the same place. I think I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of Abyss just right on my lid as well, kind of as a base for other shadows I want to put there. I'm not going to stop here, but I think even this right here is kind of fun. Like just do a liner and call it a day, just kind of like a matte, soft blue sort of a look. I think it's kind of fun and different. Okay, I'm going to get some of Tsunami on a flat brush, and I'm really packing this on the brush, like really pressing it into the brush because this is a looser sort of a shadow. I'm just going to press this in the outer corner of my eye. I'm really bringing this about halfway over, kind of to the middle of my lid. I want to play with this shadow a little bit more, so I'm going to wet my brush. I got some of the product on my brush and then I sprayed a little bit of setting spray on it. And I'm going to press this once again. Ooh, yeah. It's really pretty. Both ways. It's pretty dry, but then using it like this just intensifies it even more. I'm gonna go back in with a little combo of Abyss and Ripples and just do a little bit of blending in my crease where that shadow is meeting. I do have some fallout with that sparkly shade, but really not a ton for what kind of a shadow it is. Like just a little bit, but it's not that bad. I'm gonna take a Real Techniques detailer brush and get some of Tidal on that brush. I'm first going to apply it into the inner corners of my eyes, kind of the inner half. Dry, just because I want to see. Ooh, that is pretty. That is really pretty, especially where it meets this sparkly shade. Ooh, that is gorgeous. And this is using it just dry. This isn't any kind of a setting spray or mixing medium. Wow. Now I'm gonna line my upper lash line with some black liner and apply some mascara. I'm using my Laura Geller Eye Care Waterproof Eyeliner in black. and my IT Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. Then for my lower lash line, I'm gonna get some of Ebates on a BH Cosmetics 10 brush. I think I'm actually gonna spray this a little bit, just so I can get this pretty intense on my lower lash line. Just lining along there. Okay, I'm gonna clean up under my eyes with some concealer, apply some mascara, and I'll be right back. Also applied some bronzer because I was looking real pale. So, okay, now I'm gonna take some of Taupe and get that on that same BH Cosmetics 10 brush. And I'm gonna spray this. And I'm gonna use a little bit of this on the inner corners of my lower lash line. Just a little pop right there. And then I'm also gonna do a little combo of white caps and Taupe, just a tiny little bit. I'm not getting my brush in there too much. I'm gonna tap it on the back of my hand, just because I want a little pop on the inner corners of the eyes, but I don't want it to be like, you know, super stark blue. Alright guys, so that wraps up this video. So I hope that you really enjoyed it and hope it was helpful for you. Please do a thumbs up if it was, and let me know down below what you think about this palette. If you've tried it out or if you're just eyeing it, what are your thoughts and opinions? I love to hear that. Ask me any questions that you have, I'm happy to answer those. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!